There's Alina Habba. She's mocking DA Fani Willis after some of the charges, we brought it to you right here, were dropped in the Fulton County case. She's maybe she's the former Trump lawyer. She's still associated with the team. Habba had this to say after some of those charges in the case out of Atlanta, Georgia, were dropped.
I wish that all the counts had been dropped because that's probably what should have been. I mean, at least it was a step in the right direction. It goes to the sloppiness of, frankly, the prosecutors down there. We know that that's the case. And more importantly, that this should not have been brought in general. The attorney handling this case put out a statement that I think says it all, and at the end of the day, remember, we've got a prosecutor here who's currently being questioned about her own ethical obligations, her ability to even stay on this case. I'm going to defer to this judge to make the right decision, but today was a good step in the right direction.
What do you think it means for whether or not he will decide to remove Fani Willis from this case? What does your gut tell you on this, Alina?
I don't think it's indicative necessarily of his actions in terms of Fani. I think that Fani, whatever she calls herself, she's got her own issues that are outside of this case that clearly have permeated her decision-making ability.
Okay, you want to talk about unethical or conduct that is colored outside of the lines. Her client, the one she represents and keeps losing on behalf of, is a good place to start, okay?
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Trump got a bit of good news in the Georgia election crimes case Wednesday when Judge Scott McAfee dismissed 6 counts against Trump and several of his 18 co-defendants. The 6 charges dropped. 4 out of a total of 13. Is that a baker's dozen? Felony counts? Although a pending decision on disqualifying DA Willis could endanger the remainder of the case. It could come at any moment. Partial dismissal by Georgia Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee leaves most of the sprawling racketeering indictment intact. Okay, Habba? McAfee ruled 6 charges in the 41-count indictment related to Trump and some co-defendants allegedly soliciting violation of oath by a public officer lacked the required detail about what underlying crime the defendants were soliciting. Okay? CNN with the reporting there. CNN senior legal analyst Eli Honig, said the ruling is an unforced error by prosecutors and an undeniable setback. While most of the charges remain intact, the judge has thrown out 6 charges for being legally defective. Essentially, prosecutors charged Trump and others with asking Georgia officials to violate the Constitution, but prosecutors failed to specify any underlying constitutional provision. Michael Moore, a CNN legal analyst, former U.S. attorney, said McAfee's action may mean the judge doesn't think the case will go to trial this year. Now, other analysts, have basically said it's a technicality. The DA can refile, perhaps a little sloppy, I don't know. But the judge went so far as saying that he wasn't discounting the charges. It just, you got to explain them better here. But for Habba, who is, I don't know a case that she's won, do you? Well, I don't know one case that this young lady has won on behalf of the 45th president of the United States. For her to be mocking District Attorney Willis, who brought a sweeping racketeering case against all these defendants through a grand jury, right? They signed that indictment. I think it's a little weird.
You said it, right? She hasn't really won a case. Alina Habba has to know objectively that she's not actually a good lawyer. She puts tons of stock in the way she looks and with her connections, and she knows that she has to use these shady tactics in order to not win cases, but just to contribute to the Trump circus, to add to the delay, to cast doubt over everybody involved in prosecuting Trump, right? She's just part of that circus. She's a circus performer. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's disbarred eventually. That's how bad of a lawyer she is. But she's also talking about Fani Willis here as if Fani Willis is just a woman who has been disingenuous and unprofessional in her role. But if anyone knows that the allegations against Willis don't have any legs, it's Alina Habba. Don't quote me on this. I have to double check, but I think she had to retract a statement or something that she made about Fani Willis because Fani Willis was like, that's not true. It was proven that it didn't have any legs, these allegations that there's some kind of conflict of interest, and Fani Willis shouldn't be involved in the case. And Alina Habba knows that that is not true.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to find out soon if Fani Willis will be disqualified from the case. Again, I hear different people say different things. Okay. There was no financial benefit, but it all hinges on whether the judge says an appearance of impropriety versus actual. Either way, you made the call, Trump. You asked for these blah, 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 however many votes. Okay. And somebody recorded you because they didn't have trust in you. And this is where we are. Okay. This is where we are.